Hi, my name is Danielle Jershevsky. I'm the North American editor for Labels and Labeling magazine, and I'm here with Mike Ferrari. He is the president of Ferrari Innovation Solutions, and he's spent quite a few years in the brand owner space, and specifically with Procter & Gamble. And now he's doing some of his own consulting and helping drive digital printing and digital software throughput solutions for the label and packaging industry. So a year ago we had a discussion when we were at Labelexpo Americas. So we just wanted to follow up again and find out what's new, because quite a lot has happened in this last year. So what are some of the new trends? What's going on?
Well, first, Danielle, thank you for having me again. Always a pleasure to talk to you. I've had the great pleasure coming in a day early on Monday. There was a very specific brand event where HP invited a number of large brands to really begin educating, and I was part of that. And I'm seeing just a great learning and understanding and awareness. There's still a lot of education that needs to be done, but for everyone that is educated in the large multinationals, they're very interested in pursuing growing their brands. So I think we're going to see some acceleration in 2014, even more than we've seen in 2013.
And so we have seen some great things. And what would you say are the advantages or the benefits for brand owners when it comes to this technology?
That's a great question, because I try to summarize that into three buckets. I see that digital printing is great for brand growth. It's great for agility and complexity reduction. And thirdly, it's a really big story on sustainability.
Yes.
So those are the big three. For brand growth, we've seen what the CocaCola campaign that many people by now have heard of, and now the results are in, and we know that at least in the UK, that was a 3.88% revenue build. So that's
impressive.
huge. So that's certainly one that can help on brand growth. On agility, it's the ability to respond very quickly to the marketplace, the ability to reduce waste, to order what you need when you need it, so not to tie up a lot of costs in inventory. And the third, on sustainability, is really about when you can manage that inventory, then you're not wasting that inventory that might need to be recycled. A number of brands will openly admit that their inventory waste might be as high as 30%, and I would not be surprised.
Excellent.
I think that number is accurate.
Definitely some serious opportunities there for cost savings and for creative opportunity. I was at an event in the US a couple of weeks ago, and it was a general printing event. But definitely the buzzword there, and one of my big reasons for attending, was to talk about packaging and labeling. Are you seeing anything in that sphere at all, as far as what the wider printer world is thinking about?
Oh, absolutely. It's very interesting, because the digital presses, and specifically what HP Indigo are landing here at this show with wide format, and they're the only ones I've seen that are doing this. They're able to also give leverage to automation engines that are making the system a total digital workflow. They're also giving reason for finishers to create digital finishing. So Hycon is here, for example, and I'm amazed at this whole digital workflow. And I did bring this one example of not just creasing and cutting, but the ability to decorate very finely with a digital cutter. So that's interesting. So I think you're seeing that the digital press has now created other industries that are connecting for a total solution end to end. And that new ecosystem is going to be the supply chain of the future.
And that's really, I believe, what your vision has been.
It has been.
You've been around this digital print technology for some time now, but it seems like things are really coming into alignment to fulfill this full-end solution that we're talking about.
It certainly has been, and I've never held back that during my time at Procter & Gamble, with just thousands of SKUs in an analog world, it was just too difficult to get new artwork through that system and then be ready for the next change. And so the ability to, the dream of mine was always to be in a digital workflow so that all of those handoffs and transitions could be reduced through complexity in a digital world, and we're here.
Excellent. And let's talk a little bit about the creative side of what the technology allows. You mentioned the CocaCola campaign. We wrote about it in Labels and Labeling. How are the brands seeing this, and how are converters responding? There's a number of digital printing machinery out there in the marketplace, but there's a point of differentiation when it comes to creativity. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Certainly. Up until now, the majority of differentiation that brand owners have had has been to deal with shape, color, and substrate. And that's still important, because that will help on the shelf. But if that's all you do, and brand owners are realizing it, that's not enough, because there's a new fourth element that I talk about. That fourth element now is the ability to create connectivity to the internet, because we're now in the age of mobility. We're in the post-PC era, and if you think of mobility, packaging needs to be where the people are, and they're on the go on the internet. And so the connected brand is now the new opportunity, and the digital.
So I'm happy to hear you discuss about some of the parallels between sustainability and digital printing. Can you talk a little bit about who the decision makers are in the brand owner firms, and how the label converters and their suppliers are working to communicate some of these outstanding benefits to help brands really deliver this connectivity that you're talking about?
Right. Well, that's a very good point, because that all programs around connectivity are not going to come through purchasing organizations. They're going to come through the marketing organizations, who are the true owners of the brand. They're the curators of the brand, and need to keep the brand fresh. And so what printers need to do, and certainly what HP is stepping up to do, is to continue to educate marketing so that they are aware that now these new doors are open in the ability to create relevancy, engagement, and interaction, and bringing packaging into the moment so that it's really fresh.
Excellent. And I think certainly too with the Coca-Cola campaign, would you say that that brand owners are seeing what that opportunity really is with that campaign? Is there a buzz when you talk to some of them about it?
Oh, absolutely. When the giant of the industry is doing something new and is successful with it, then a lot of eyes are going to be attentive to that, and that's what's happening. I think very shortly you're going to see a few more big players, and the acceleration of what brand owners are doing is beginning to pick up. You will see more and more new business models introduced into the marketplace in 2014. It's going to be very exciting.
Awesome. So the curtain's been pulled back some, and it looks like we could be in for a pretty awesome ride. I just want to thank you so much for meeting with me today. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you, Danielle. My pleasure, too.